The story everyone is talking about right now is how a move that was meant to clean Nigeria's image abroad has instead opened a deeper conversation about insecurity, faith, and how the world truly sees the country. The discussion did not start from nowhere. It grew quietly, then suddenly became loud, and now it is sitting at the center of international attention. As you are listening to this story, please like this video and subscribe to the channel so you do not miss any important update, because this is one of those issues that keeps developing day by day. The key issue is simple on the surface but complex underneath. Nigeria approved a large lobbying arrangement in the United States, with the aim of correcting what the government believes is a wrong narrative about the country, especially around claims that Christians are being deliberately targeted. The intention was to explain Nigeria's position clearly to American lawmakers and opinion leaders, to show that the violence happening in parts of the country is driven by insecurity and terrorism, not an official policy of religious discrimination. As this move became public, reactions started pouring in from Nigerians at home and abroad, and that is where the real story began. Please remember to like this video and subscribe as we continue, because this kind of deep explanation is what we do here. Many Nigerians immediately focused on the amount of money involved. They asked why such a large sum would be spent to influence opinions abroad, while citizens at home are still worried about safety, food prices, and daily survival. Others looked beyond the money and focused on the message itself. They argued that once a government pays lobbyists specifically to talk about protecting Christians, it unintentionally strengthens the argument that there is indeed a serious problem that needs explaining. This is why the headline has taken the shape it has. What was meant to counter a narrative has, in the eyes of critics, given that same narrative more oxygen. As you listen, please like this video and subscribe, because your support helps us continue breaking these stories down in clear English. To understand why this issue matters so much, you have to look at how international perception works. Countries are not judged only by what they say, but by what others believe about them. In recent years, Nigeria has faced repeated questions about insecurity, especially attacks on communities, kidnappings, and violence linked to extremist groups. While these attacks affect people of different backgrounds, some international groups have focused strongly on Christian communities, framing the crisis as religious persecution. Nigeria's official position has consistently been that the problem is broader than religion, that criminals and terrorists target communities based on opportunity, geography, and weak security presence. But once this debate enters international politics, facts, emotions, and interests mix together. Now, please pause for a second, like this video, and subscribe if you have not done so already, because this story is not just about politics. It is about image, trust, and national reputation. When a country like the United States begins to debate another country's internal issues, it does not stay as mere talk. It can affect diplomatic relations, security cooperation, and even economic confidence. This is one reason governments sometimes turn to lobbying. Lobbying, in simple terms, is paying professionals to present your side of the story clearly to decision makers. Many countries do it. Nigeria is not the first, and it will not be the last. However, the timing and focus of this particular lobbying effort made it sensitive. It came at a moment when global attention was already sharp, and when Nigerians themselves were emotionally connected to the topic because of ongoing insecurity. What made this even more controversial was how ordinary citizens interpreted it. Many people felt that instead of spending energy explaining Nigeria abroad, the government should focus on making the explanation unnecessary by improving safety on the ground. The argument is straightforward. When communities are safe, when attacks reduce, and when justice is visible, foreign narratives automatically weaken. No amount of explanation can compete with real improvement. As you reflect on this, please like this video and subscribe, because your engagement tells us you value honest and detailed storytelling. Another layer to this story is how global politics works. International discussions about human rights and religious freedom are sometimes driven by genuine concern, but they can also be influenced by domestic politics in powerful countries. When politicians abroad speak strongly about another country, it often reflects both moral positions and strategic interests. Nigeria, being a large and influential country in Africa, naturally attracts attention. This means its internal challenges can quickly become international talking points. The lobbying effort was likely designed to manage this reality, but public reaction shows that perception management is not just about foreign audiences. It also affects how citizens feel about their own government. Please remember to like this video and subscribe as we go on, because this conversation touches everyone who cares about Nigeria's future. What stands out clearly in this entire situation is a communication gap. On one side, the government sees lobbying as a defensive diplomatic tool. On the other side, many citizens see it as a sign of misplaced priorities. Both perspectives exist at the same time, and that tension is what fuels the debate. The headline captures that tension by suggesting that the lobbying effort has unintentionally validated the very claims it was meant to challenge. Whether that interpretation is fair or not depends on how one looks at it, but what cannot be denied is that the issue has forced Nigeria into a more intense global spotlight. At the heart of everything is the lived reality of Nigerians. Beyond headlines, contracts, and international debates, there are real people dealing with fear, loss, and uncertainty. That reality is what gives strength to any narrative, whether positive or negative. If insecurity continues, explanations will always struggle to sound convincing. If insecurity reduces, explanations become almost unnecessary. This is why many analysts believe that actions on the ground matter more than words spoken abroad. As you are still listening, please like this video and subscribe, because these are the kinds of conversations that need patience and clarity, not noise and insults. Another important angle is trust. Trust between citizens and government is built when people feel that priorities are aligned. When citizens see money spent on external image management while internal problems feel unresolved, trust becomes fragile. Even if the intention behind the lobbying is strategic, perception matters. Governments do not operate in a vacuum. Every decision sends a message, whether intended or not. In this case, the message was interpreted in different ways, and those interpretations now shape public discussion. The story also highlights how difficult it is to control narratives in the digital age. Once information becomes public, it is analyzed, criticized, reshaped, and shared widely. A single decision can generate hundreds of interpretations. This is why modern governance requires not just action, but careful communication that considers both domestic and international audiences. When communication fails, even well-intended actions can backfire. Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe, because your support helps ensure these complex stories are told with balance and depth. In the end, this situation is less about a single contract and more about what it represents. It represents Nigeria's ongoing struggle with insecurity, its desire to be understood correctly on the global stage, and the growing demand from citizens for accountability and clear priorities. It shows that national image cannot be separated from national reality. You cannot permanently fix one without addressing the other. As this story continues to develop, more reactions will come, more opinions will be shared, and more pressure will build, both internally and externally. The real test will not be how well Nigeria explains itself, but how effectively it improves conditions for its people. That is what will shape future headlines, future debates, and future perceptions. If you have followed this story to this point, please like this video and subscribe, because we will keep breaking it down in clear, professional English so everyone can understand.